Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to Learn English with me on Learn English Live. So it's great to see all of you today. We are going to have a lesson on reading this evening or this morning, depending on what time it is where you are. So let's take a look at the chat and see who we have here so I can welcome all of you. So let's see. We have Dwee. Dwee, you are the first person to arrive according to what I see. So gold star for you. Hi, Jonathan. I hope your lovely, lovely daughter is doing well. Gertrudis, it's great to see you here again this week with Michelle, of course. Michelle, you are my favorite Frenchman. And then we have Vashuda. Hello, Vashuda. It's lovely to see you here. I have not seen you lately. So, Michelle, thank you so much. My son, Pasha, he celebrated his 14th birthday this past weekend. And he was very excited because he received a sweatshirt like this. So I have a hooded sweatshirt on today, and he received a hooded sweatshirt that has ramen noodles on it, and he loves ramen noodles. He wants to eat them every day, and so it looks like a packet of ramen noodles. He really liked the sweatshirt. So thanks for asking. Hello, Layla. It is great to see you. I'm doing well today. I'm doing well. So like I mentioned, today we are going to do a lesson to practice our reading skills as well as our comprehension skills. So I am going to share with you a couple of photos first that go along with what we're going to read about today from my blog post. So let's just take a look at what I want to share with you today from my blog post. So this was day 28 of our trip to Russia. We were in the country for 28 days at this point. Oh, I understand, Vishuda. I understand. The time is difficult for many students who live on the other side of the globe. So if you have not, you can check out the full blog that I have here. It is under gibsonfamilyadoption.blogspot.com, and you can read the entire adoption story if you would like. So I wanted to just share with you a couple of photos. So here is a photo of my husband and I with both of the boys. We took a nice trip on a boat and took a tour of Moscow with the boys prior to returning to the United States with them. So we are going to read about the day that was our last day in Moscow. So that is what we're going to read about today in our lesson. So let's go ahead and get started. Let me share my screen with you, and we will take a look at our reading for today. So what I would like for you to do is to read the material, and then we are going to discuss in the chat. I hope that this is a lesson that you will find a little challenging but rewarding for you. So here we go. Today is our last day in Moscow as we fly out early tomorrow morning. Chad and I are very ready to go. The boys don't know what to expect, so they are none the wiser. Okay, I will read this one more time. Now remember, this is a blog, and a blog is not a formal piece of writing. A blog is more like written speech. So in this blog, I am writing as if I were just talking to you telling you my story. Okay, so there are things that we could improve upon in my writing. So let's listen again. And again, if you would like to read along with me and shadow my speaking, that would be great too. Shadowing is a technique where you attempt to read or speak along with me simultaneously. So at the same time, you don't imitate, you actually say the words in the same manner that I say them, with the same rhythm and rate. So here we go. Today is our last day in Moscow as we fly out early tomorrow morning. Chad and I are very ready to go. The boys don't know what to expect, so they are none the wiser. So, students, what does none the wiser mean? What do you think here? What does none the wiser mean? Let's take a look at the chat and see what you think none the wiser means. I had a great day today. My students really worked hard today. I hope you have had a nice Tuesday, or that your Wednesday is beginning and it's started off well for you. So Gertrudis says she has no idea. Does anyone else have any suggestions what the saying none the wiser means? So Layla says they don't know what will happen to them. And Michelle says there are more wiser than them. All great points. Afan, hello Afan, nice to see you. Welcome to my live lesson. It means they are wiser, not knowing or understanding what to do. Is it correct? Okay, so we are going to actually go to Oxford Learner's Dictionary, and we are going to search none the wiser. So none the wiser is an idiom, and as you can see here on the screen, it talks about how you do not understand something even after it has been explained to you. You could say that you do not know or find out about something bad that somebody has done. In this instance, be none the wiser means that they wouldn't understand what was going to happen even if we had explained to them. Because as Layla said, they didn't know what was going to happen. They'd never flown on a plane across the ocean. They had been on one plane ride before from the region they lived in to Moscow. That was the first time they'd ever been on a plane. They hadn't had many experiences, so they've lived what's called a sheltered life. A sheltered life means you haven't had many experiences. So they were none the wiser. It was a new situation for them. So let's go ahead and take a look back at the reading. And let's try it one more time. Remember, if you're going to shadow with me, you're going to try and read along with me with the same rhythm, rate, and intonation. So here we go again. Today is our last day in Moscow as we fly out early tomorrow morning. Chad and I are very ready to go. The boys don't know what to expect, so they are none the wiser. So Michelle says they are ignorant on the future events. So in this sentence, when I said the boys don't know what to expect, I probably didn't need to say, so they are none the wiser, because those two phrases, they don't know what to expect, they are none the wiser, those two phrases are very similar. They have the same meaning or intention. But as a native speaker, I often will use idioms in my speaking and writing to help paint a picture for my listener. So when we are having conversation, we will use idioms and slang and idiomatic expressions and maybe proverbs when we want to help our listener truly understand our message. So they are none the wiser. Okay, so let's move on to our next sentence. And again, let's think about this in a step process. The first step will be you are going to read it to yourself. The second step will be I will read it, and then you will imitate. And then the final step will be you can shadow and read it with me. Yes, Gertrudis, it's a little redundant to say they didn't know what to expect and they were none the wiser. It's a little redundant. It's probably not the best writing, but I was trying to portray the emotions of the event to my audience. Remember, I wrote this blog when I was actually in Russia, and I had many family members and friends who they would read it because it was the only way they could keep up with us as we were going through the process, since we were overseas. And back then, there were cell phones, but it wasn't quite as easy to communicate with someone out of the country. So let's take a look at this next slide. Chad and I both have a little anxiety about getting through the airport with them, mostly due to concerns with our paperwork. Okay, so I just read that sentence without emotion. I read it so that the pronunciation of the words were clear. Now I'm going to read the sentence with some emotion and give stress to the words. And let's see if you can imitate with me. Yes, Layla, you have not had experience traveling alone, so you are none the wiser. That is correct. So here we go. Chad and I both have a little anxiety about getting through the airport with them, mostly due to concerns with our paperwork. Okay, I'm going to give it a moment so you can finish reading. And now I would like to just highlight a couple of things here. Okay, so if I were to say a little anxiety. Hello, Javier. Nice to see you. Chad and I both have a little anxiety. Hey, Alyssa. Great to see you here in the chat. A little anxiety. We're doing another reading lesson today, Alyssa. So I am going through. I'm going to read the sentence first. You can then imitate with me. And then I would like to work on you shadow reading. So you saying the sentence along with me as we go through the lesson. And we're going to answer questions about what we read. Chad and I both have a little anxiety. We have a little anxiety about getting through the airport with them, mostly due to concerns with our paperwork. So, do you think my usage of the word little accurately portrays how we may have been feeling? Chad and I both have a little anxiety about getting through the airport with them, mostly due to concerns with our paperwork. Do you think we have a little anxiety? What do you guys think? So this is a continuation of my blog, which I wrote about the adoption of our sons, for those of you who are just joining. Do you guys think that my sentence and usage of the word little to describe the anxiety, do you think that's an accurate usage of how I really felt? Let's see what you all are thinking. Chad and I both have a little anxiety about getting through the airport with them, mostly due to concerns with our paperwork. So Michelle, you're saying maybe you were stressing about it a bit? Mm-hmm. Let's see what anyone else thinks. The technique that I used here is I actually downplayed the emotion, and by downplaying it, there is a nuance to the reader who thinks, well, maybe they're actually feeling more anxiety than a little. A bit of anxiety would be a good way to describe. Chad and I both have a bit of anxiety. Vishuddha, yes, a little worried about it. And Layla, we're anxious. But to be honest, we had more than just a little anxiety. We were very anxious. We were nervous. We were worried about taking our young children into an airport in a foreign country that spoke a language that we did not, but my children did speak Russian. And so I was worried that my children would maybe say something in Russian that we wouldn't understand, but the airport officials would understand and we would get in trouble. So yes, it was a very interesting situation. So to be honest, I should have said, Chad and I both have a lot of anxiety about getting through the airport because we were concerned about our paperwork. I should have said we have a lot, but I downplayed the emotion so the reader will realize, oh, actually, they're feeling a lot of anxiety here. Layla, it's a nuance that you can use to help the reader kind of recognize, oh, well, maybe they're a little more nervous than what they're saying. Because my audience of readers, when I wrote this blog post, were my family and close friends. So they knew me and they knew my husband, and they would be able to read this and say, I bet they feel more than just a little nervous. I hope that helps, Layla. So let's take a look. Yes, Michelle, we did. But you overcame your anxiety. Your sentence would be, but you overcame your anxiety. That is correct. We did. Okay, so let's take a look at this next passage. And I have a question after this passage for you. I'll have a question. So listen carefully first. We'll read it through 3 times, at least. Everything is in order. We have the boys' passports and adoption decrees, but there is always that nagging feeling that we won't be allowed to leave the country. Okay, so let's look at a couple of words here. So, first of all, I want to point out I don't think the usage of a comma is the best choice here. Hey, Anna, great to see you. This isn't really a very well-constructed sentence. I think either I should have used a period and say, everything seems to be in order, period. We have the boys' passports. Maybe I should say everything seems to be in order, I think, and then use a period here. We have the boys' passports, and here you see the apostrophe after S because this is a possessive noun. We have the boys' passports and adoption decrees. The adoption decree, thank you, Jonathan. The adoption decree is the official document that Russia gave us that said that we are their parents. So it's a very important paper that we have with us at all times to show that these children are our children. We have the boys' passports and adoption decrees, but there is always that nagging feeling that we won't be allowed to leave the country. So now let's try shadow reading, okay? So remember, with shadow reading, you are going to say the words as I say them and try to use the same rate and rhythm in the reading. So here we go. Everything seems to be in order. We have the boys' passports and adoption decrees, but there is always that nagging feeling that we won't be allowed to leave the country. Okay, you guys are doing a great job. Thanks, Anna, for stopping by. I hope you have a productive meeting. So, students, what does the word nagging mean? What does the word nagging mean? I would like for you to use the word nagging in a sentence. So write your sentence in the comments. So you're going to use the word nagging in a sentence. Nagging. I can't wait to see what your sentence will be. Remember here, I will read you the sentence again. We have the boys' passports and adoption decrees, but there is always that nagging feeling that we won't be allowed to leave the country. So let's see what you guys come up with. What do you guys think here? Let's use nagging in a sentence. Do we need to look up the word? We can look it up for sure. So Michelle thinks a fear of others. So nagging is used to describe feeling, the word feeling, nagging feeling. Vashuda says maybe a painful feeling. Gertruda says persistent. You guys are really thinking very thoroughly. That is fantastic. So let's go ahead and go back to our Oxford Learner's Dictionary, and we're going to look up the meaning of the word nagging. Layla says, don't forget your article, I have a nagging feeling that I won't speak English well while traveling. So let's do nagging. So nagging is an adjective, which means continuing for a long time and difficult to cure or remove. A nagging pain or a nagging doubt. Oh, Alyssa, My boss keeps nagging me to do every single little task. I am sorry. That is frustrating. So the example here, nagging feeling. So it is, we're going to take a look here at what nagging means. It means continuing for a long time and difficult to cure or remove. So it is something that is, excuse me, it's always there, it's present, and yes, Layla, nagging, something that's nagging is annoying as well. A nagging feeling. So let's take a look again. We have the boys' passports and adoption decrees, but there is always that nagging feeling that we won't be allowed to leave the country. Now remember, guys, what are we feeling anxious about? We are feeling anxious due to here. We are anxious that maybe the officials at the airport will look at our paperwork and find something wrong with it. Maybe they will find something wrong with it. And that feeling, that anxiety, it's a nagging feeling. It's always there as we are preparing to return home to the United States. So now let's try, guys. Let's use a sentence with the word nagging. Alyssa and Layla did a great job with it. Let's see if anyone else can give us an example of a sentence with the word nagging. I would love to see some more examples. Does anyone have any other thoughts? Let's see here. Ooh, dwee. I love it. Great. I feel terrible asking you this, but it keeps nagging at me. Great. So it's this persistent feeling that you can't stop. So you need to ask this question. Good. My sister has a nagging feeling before her wedding. Uh-oh. Is she getting cold feet, Layla? Cold feet is a way to describe someone who is reconsidering their choice of doing something. When I fly to the USA, I always have a nagging feeling. So, Gertrudis, don't forget your article. When I fly to the USA, I always have a nagging feeling. So you could use the word nagging to describe other nouns. I have a nagging pain in my shoulder. A nagging pain in my shoulder. So about 3 months ago, I slept funny on my shoulder. And ever since then, every once in a while, I'll get this nagging pain in my shoulder. So it can be regarding pain as well, just like we said, a nagging pain or doubt. So we doubted that we would make it through the airport safely and be able to get on our plane to come home. Okay, so let's take a look at our next one. I'll wait a moment and see if we have any other sentences. So if we wanted to use the word nag in another way, there are many other ways you can use nag as a verb. Vashuda says, I had a nagging feeling that I had forgotten to cook. I have a nagging pain in my side recently. Okay, so Layla, you would say, I have had a nagging pain in my side recently. If you wanted to say, I have a nagging pain, you would say, I have a nagging pain in my side today. But recently means you've had it over a period of time that is recent. When I fly to the USA, I always have a nagging feeling. Yes. So Alyssa, a debilitating pain. A nagging pain is something that is annoying, but I wouldn't consider a nagging pain to be debilitating. A nagging pain is something that's just kind of always there. It's there. It's not pleasant, but it's not debilitating. Okay, so yes. Good. Nice, Layla. Okay, so let's try this sentence. I know that hundreds of families leave the SVO airport every month with their newly adopted children, so I am sure it will be fine. Okay, so now let's read through a second time. This time you can imitate after me. So that means you're going to read the sentence after I do. I know that hundreds of families leave the SVO airport every month with their newly adopted children, so I am sure it will be fine. My friend's behavior is... Okay, so you would need to change your sentence, Vashuda, because nagging is an adjective. It's supposed to describe a noun. So I guess here you could say my friend's behavior is... You could say my friend's nagging behavior is annoying, because then nagging is describing behavior. I just think arranging that sentence differently would help. My friend's behavior my nagging friend's behavior, you could say that too, because then nagging would describe friend. My nagging friend's behavior is annoying. That would be a great sentence. Okay, so now we're going to do some shadow reading. Remember, so you're going to read along with me and attempt to imitate the rhythm, rate, and stress. You are welcome, Vashuda. Here we go. I know that hundreds of families leave the SVO airport every month with their newly adopted children, so I'm sure it will be fine. Okay, so you heard the emotion there and the stress of specific words. So let's try it again. Layla, yes, you always have a nagging feeling before any travel. I hate this feeling. Yes, it's that feeling of, did I forget something? I have this nagging feeling that I forgot something. So let's try it one more time with some emotion and intonation and the rhythm like mine. Let's do some shadowing. Here we go. I know that hundreds of families leave the SVO airport every month with their newly adopted children, so I am sure it will be fine. When I say it will be fine, I am saying what? I'm sure it will be fine. What do I mean there, guys? When I say it will be fine. What do you think I mean there? When I say it'll be fine. sure it'll be fine. There's a little bit of a delay in my feed. So yes, Michelle. Michelle says, everything will go well. No worries. Yes, Jonathan. Vashuda says, believing nothing wrong is going to happen. There's no reason to be anxious. Yes. So Layla, that's exactly what I'm saying here. So as I'm writing in this blog, I'm talking about how I'm nervous, but I'm also trying to say, I want to think things are going to be fine, because many other people have done the same thing that we are doing, and it worked out. It worked out means that everything ended in a positive way. So Chad, did it work out? We got out of the airport. My husband's doing the dishes. What?
That was a scary situation.
So he's agreeing. He's saying that was a scary situation. Hello, Mia. He said it was a scary situation. You had official people from Russia, officers in uniform, right? So military men and women in official uniforms with guns, and not just handguns, but semi-automatic weapons, machine guns, and dogs. And it was a little intimidating. Not a little, it was very intimidating. Intimidating means they seemed very powerful, and we seemed to be powerless. We felt like we did not have any power in the situation. But yes, by my writing here, Gertrudis, I'm trying to convince my reader everything will be fine. And I'm also trying to convince myself that it'll be fine. Okay, so let's move on. Chad is worried, although he doesn't say it, about the mechanics of hauling all of the luggage and boys through everything. Okay, so we're going to try it again. This time I want you to imitate what I read. Chad is worried, although he doesn't say it, about the mechanics of hauling all of the luggage and boys through everything. Okay, so now we're going to try one more time, but this time I want you to use shadowing, okay? And I'm sorry for the noise. My husband is doing some dishes. It's his chore today on our chore board. Chad is worried, although he doesn't say it, about the mechanics of hauling all of the luggage and boys through everything. Okay, so we're going to take a look at a couple of words in this sentence. Let's start with the word mechanics. Mechanics. What do we think mechanics? What does the word mechanics mean? Chad is worried about the mechanics of hauling. Chad is worried, although he doesn't say it, about the mechanics. So let's take a look at mechanics. So this is an example of, down here, The mechanics of something so the mechanics is the way something works or is done. The way something works or is done. Procedure, yes, that's good. So Jonathan, we're not talking about the airplane. We're talking about the process of hauling. Hauling is another word. You haul something means that you are going to take something with you. You're going to move it from one place to another. He was worried about the procedure, the regulation, the process of moving all of the luggage and the boys through the airport. How are we going to navigate through the airport with 2 small children and a bunch of luggage? Like we had a cart full of luggage that we had to push and get through a big airport. So it was a lot to think about, and you're in a foreign country, you don't speak the language, so it just makes you feel uncomfortable. So you can haul goods in a vehicle from one city to another. I'm going to haul my kids to school. You can say, I'm going to haul the kids to school, meaning I'm going to take them to school. Hauling can be used. Let's take a look at the word hauling. Let's do that next. So I'm going to add another slide and we will look up the word haul. So haul is a verb, and it means to pull something or somebody with a lot of effort. It also means to move yourself somewhere slowly and with a lot of effort. So we could say it would be probably to haul something or somebody. That would be a best description of what we're doing here. So we're going to say this. Here is our example of hauling. To pull something or somebody with a lot of effort. But it's a present progressive. Here we have a verb. And it's an idiom. It's a verb form. We were nervous about hauling the boys and the luggage through the airport. It was going to take a lot of effort. I hope that that is helpful for you guys. Okay? I will haul my bird to my friend's house before I will travel. Okay, so Layla, your bird, would that take a lot of effort to take your bird and its cage and all of its supplies? If it's something that would take a lot of effort, then yes, or maybe slightly difficult. That would be appropriate. I'm going to haul my furniture across the United States to my new home. I'm going to haul my new furniture across the United States to my new home. He hauls her at home after dinner. So you could say, Vashuda, if you had someone who was large and you had to pull them out of their chair, you could say, I hauled her out of her chair and put her to bed. So Vishuddha, you could say, I hauled her out of her chair and put her to bed. If it was a person that was a larger person and you were smaller, it would take a lot of effort. Yes, Michelle, we probably needed someone to help us. But it costs what? Yeah. But it costs so much money that people couldn't afford to go with us. Yes, Layla, they will haul new cars to several countries. That is a great example. We haul H-A-U-L. Alyssa, haul. H-A-U-L. We haul our furniture with the moving truck or in the moving truck. We haul our furniture in the moving truck or we haul our furniture with the moving truck. Okay. Now, why do you think I use the word mechanics in the sentence? Or what is another word that could be used instead of the word mechanics? So let's take a look at this sentence and what else could we use besides mechanics? I think some of you mentioned, Alyssa said procedure. I think that would be a great synonym to use. Anyone else have any other ideas? Gertrudis, I hauled my daughter to school because she didn't want to go there. Yes, perfect, because another definition of haul is to move someone, okay, to force somebody to go somewhere they do not want to go. That is another example of haul somebody. I hauled my daughter to school because she didn't want to go there. Very nice. Good work. Okay. So what's another word that we could use besides mechanics? Yes. That's correct. A system. That's good, Jonathan. Yes, you could say system. And do we, yes, anyone would have to have a passport. There are just a lot of things someone would have to do to come along with us. But the main thing was the money and the time. Steps, good. Steps, great synonym to describe the mechanics, the steps. He was worried about the steps of making it through the airport with the children. About the steps that you need to do it. Yes. How are we going to travel through the airport to get on the airplane? The steps we needed to take. Very nice. Okay, let's see here. We're going to have to move a little bit more quickly through the rest of this. So let's talk about our next slide. It won't help that we are going to be leaving in the middle of the night. So may have some very cranky little guys. I will try it again. This time I want you to imitate after me, please. It won't help that we are going to be leaving in the middle of the night, so may have some very cranky little guys. Okay, now let's try shadowing. It won't help that we are going to be leaving in the middle of the night, so we may have some very cranky little guys. So let's take a look at this. I suggest that I did not write this sentence as well as I could have. Remember, this is a blog, so it is written informally. Hey, Arnold, great to have you here. Thanks for stopping. We are doing a reading lesson today. So this is a blog post, and my blog was an informal way to share with others about our adoption. And it is as if I were speaking to someone. But I think I need to add something to this sentence. It won't help that we are going to be leaving in the middle of the night, so may have. So who may have? I think I need to add we. So we may have some very cranky little guys. I think I needed to add that word to help the listener or the reader to understand a little bit better. What does the word cranky mean, guys? Does anyone know what the word cranky means? Hey, Arnold, I have not seen you in the live stream before. Welcome to Learn English Live. I teach here on Tuesday evenings, my time, Wednesday mornings, if you are on the other side of the world in Asia or the Middle East or India, or even if you're in Europe, like our friend Michelle. What does the word cranky mean, guys? Weird or strange? Chica? Cranky. Let's see if anyone else has any ideas on the word cranky. Do you want to come up and say hi to the students? My mascot's here. Let's say hello, students. Hello. Maybe they will be sleepy at that time. Are you cranky? So, easily get frustrated, irritated, agitated. Excellent. Yes. Alyssa and Layla, correct. So let's take a look at the definition of cranky. Again, we're going to the Oxford Learner's Dictionary. Cranky is an adjective. Easily annoyed. In North American English, here is an example of cranky. I will add a slide so you can see. Why is your dad trying to get your attention? He wants you to leave? My husband's trying to get Chica to go see what he's doing. So let's make this bigger. Robin is always cranky. Oh, whoops, that did not work out. Let's try that again. We need to... That's very interesting. Let's try that again. Robin was hiding. Easily annoyed. In North American English, easily annoyed. The kids were getting tired and a little cranky. So Lopez, welcome. Good evening, everyone. So yes, we were going to leave in the middle of the night. So we were going to have to wake up the children and leave in the middle of the night, and they're not going to be happy. Okay. Yes. So cranky means easily annoyed. They would be easily annoyed because they were tired. Robin is always cranky. Okay, so let's take a look. Now, remember, let's imitate this first time through. I am hoping once we get checked in and get rid of the luggage, they will fall asleep on our laps as we wait to board the plane. So Lopez, we are reading through a blog post together. We're practicing imitating the reading, and we're practicing speaking as the teacher is saying the words to get the rate and rhythm and stress and emotion of this. This is an informal writing. A blog is like speaking. So this is me speaking to my audience of my family and friends. Okay? So I'm saying, I am hoping once we get checked in and get rid of the luggage, they will fall asleep on our laps as we wait to board the plane. So students, what does it mean to get rid of? Get rid of. Let's take a look at that. Hello, Carlos. Welcome. What does it mean to get rid of? Well, I'm glad you joined, Saint Val Lopez. I appreciate it. We're here. I'm here every week at this time. Get rid of. What does it mean to get rid of something? So Jonathan, you need to say, I feel a little bit cranky when I can't go for a ride on my bike. When I can't go for a ride. You are in a better mood when you get to go for a ride on your bike. I feel a little bit cranky when I can't go for a ride on my bike. Yes, so we've got some answers coming in. Get rid of. What does it mean to get rid of? Alyssa says to remove. Gertrudis, remove. We're not going to remove the luggage. We're going to be able to leave the luggage so that they're going to put the luggage on the plane. So we get to drop it off and the airline will take the luggage. Get rid of. Not to get over something, get rid of. So let's take a look at get rid of. Chica. So these are idioms to get rid of. I will share this with you. Get rid of. We got rid of the luggage. To make yourself free of something that is annoying you or that you do not want. We're not going to throw away the luggage, but we are going to give it to the airline to put on the plane. So we don't have to push it or haul it around anymore. Okay? Get rid of means to erase, but this is an idiom here, guys. To get rid of something, to get rid of it, to throw it away, or to leave it somewhere, so because you don't want it anymore. We got rid of it. We gave it to the airline so that we didn't have to carry it until we get to America, and then we get it back. Hopefully, because sometimes the airlines lose your luggage. We did get it back, so that was good. Okay, so let's take a look at our last slide for today. I will read it the first time through. Please imitate and read with me. They didn't sleep at all during the 4-hour flight from Kemerovo to Moscow. So we will see. We couldn't get seats all together for either flight, so we will split up 2 and 2. Yes, Layla, I want to get rid of my negative feelings. I want to get rid of my negative feelings. That's okay. St. Val Lopez, you can come on time next week. So now we're going to read again. And I would like for you to work on imitating the rhythm, the melody, the stress, the emotion that I use, okay? They didn't sleep at all during the 4-hour flight from Kemerovo to Moscow. So we will see. We couldn't get seats all together for either flight, so we will split up 2 and 2. So I'm explaining that when we were on the flight from the region of Russia that they lived in to Moscow, that they didn't sleep on a 4-hour flight. And so I wasn't sure. The long flight from Moscow to the United States, I wasn't sure if they would sleep. And yes, St. Val Lopez, So we will split up 2 and 2. That means that we will not fly in seats that are right next to each other. Yes, Gertrudis, they're separated seats. The seats are not all together. There are 2 seats and 2 seats and 2 different places on the plane. Okay, we made it through. I hope you read this aloud as we went through the lesson. We learned some new words today. You can, the first time, read just to make sure you are fluent in reading the words correctly. The second time, you can read through and imitate the speaker. The third time, you can do shadow reading where you are attempting to read along. And I am hoping to do some more lessons like this in the future. Thank you so much for coming to this lesson today. Do you guys have any questions before I sign off? I would be more than happy to answer if you have any questions. So I have a YouTube channel myself, which is Learn English with Cheri. You can check under this feed today. You have all of my social media. I will actually share with you right here, since we have some new people here. I will share with you, I am on just about everywhere. Learn English with Cheri on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. That is my name for all of them, and it's posted below. Okay, Layla, thanks so much. Have a great one. I will post, the links are below. Lopez, St. Val, they're below. Thanks, Layla. Have a great one. I will have homework here tomorrow. And yes, Gertrudis, reading in context is very important. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate it. You guys worked really hard today. This is not easy information. So well done. Great job, everybody. All right. Have a great rest of your afternoon, morning, evening, and I'll see you next week. Be kind to one another. See ya.